So I marked this, so this is the bend for around the fender for the inside lip. And this is going to be a bend that slides on top of the rocker. So let's bend it. Alright guys, so what I'm doing is I'm just fitting this piece to get that edge. You can see how I'm starting to bend it. I'm using my I-beam right there, body hammer, just kind of tilting it down so I can get this little guy right here, especially right through here. Oops, trying to get this right here, especially through here. And then I can get to that whole area from the inside of the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wire wheel all that stuff up, throw a little bit of that rust stuff in there just because. And then once I get this piece in and welded along there, I'll be putting in seam sealer on the inside, right through here, but from the inside to seal that up. Because right here it still has something in there, whether it be seam sealer or something. But I'm just here to fix this little rust spot here, and then fix the rust spot that was all this. And then I'm going to fix this right here. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're not replacing the rockers on it. We're just fixing what's here. So let me hammer this all and get it into shape. Then we'll coat that, and then we'll see if we have enough time to weld it up. Just depends. Either that or I'll weld it in tomorrow. Yeah. So here we go. A little bit more banging, a little bit more fitting. Alright guys, so I've got my stuff in there. I did the Weld-through primer. So let me explain a little bit about Weld-through primer. I didn't explain it very clearly last time, and I don't know, it's always nice to know. So when you do Weld-through primer on something that you're about to weld, so let's say I was going to do you know, like a plunge weld or a spot weld deal. You would put the Weld-through primer on both panels, but everywhere where you are going to weld, you should actually clean off where this is going to be, right? Because this adds contaminants to the weld. Sometimes it'll make it look all ugly, or it won't flatten down. So that's just a little tip there about Weld-through primer. You know, on the back side, on the front, you don't really need it on the front side, obviously, because you're really just doing it for the back, right here. And yeah, so that's how the old Weld-through primer works. So just a little tip there. All right, so I got this fitting pretty good. Here, let me swing it around. So like I said, this is all in here is all coated. This piece is all coated. Actually, let me put a little bit on the bottom here. Okay. It's kind of shadowy. A little light up in this situation. Okay, so as you can see, it's all Weld-through primered inside. I got this piece fitting pretty good, so I'm going to be tacking it here and here, and then like maybe a tack there and a tack here. Here I haven't cut yet, so once I get this piece tacked into place-ish, right, then I'll start pushing it in and I'll start making it fit, right? Because this is pretty common. I mean, it sits in there pretty good already, but through here I got to cut up through here. Okay, so I still have to cut this and then finish bending that around. So let me get this tacked in, and then we'll get back, and then you'll see what I'm doing here. Really? No. Well, good thing I have a spare welder. And when I say spare welder, I meant, oh, I gotta go buy a spare welder. So we use one of these at work, and it holds up pretty good to what we do there. So it should be okay here, at least until I can send out my other welder to get fixed. So yeah, so I just ran down and picked this up this morning. All right, let me get this all swapped over, and we'll start welding some more. All right, so we got the spare welder set up. Let's start trying to tack this back together. All right, guys, so we got the piece welded in. I'm not too crazy about it how it welded in. I'll be honest here, but the metal started blowing through. I did change welders, so it took me a second to get the right heat setting for this. Those are just knobs, right? It's old school welder, meaning that it has two knobs, you know, like speeds, like 1 through, what is it? 1 through 10 for the wire speed, and then 4 heat settings. So I found what worked. I welded in the hole that was right here that was rusted out, and then I probably should have took another piece of metal and brought it up to here into something solid. But with the amount of filler that's in this, you can see it right here. It's pretty thick. Well, not thick, but it's probably like at least 1/4 of an inch. I didn't want to take that chance, so all I did was I just slowly did the tack thing. I'm not saying that this is warped a little. It is a little warped right here. It dips down low here and right here. But you know what? That is better than that, right? So yeah. And when you had, right now I just put a tack right there. I am gonna fill this in here back with panel bond inside there. And then from the inside, I'm gonna coat the whole inside of this quarter panel anyway with the rough stuff. With his big meaty tires that he had, his tires probably come out to here and they're like this close, right? So he actually tore up this inside lip right here. He caught it and ripped it. So what we did was, here, let me move you around. So what I did is I rolled this lip in right here, and then this piece used to come out another probably 1.5 inches, but it was like out here and all kind of grambled up. So I trimmed that down and then tapped that in. So now hopefully he won't catch his tires. He didn't want me to roll his fenders, like bring them in, because I do have a roller, but I wanted to take care of this so we didn't, take care of this so we didn't have, or he didn't have any more issues grabbing tires and ripping them. So I'm going to smooth that out a little bit so it's a little bit better of a curve, and then that's all we're going to do back here. These are his tubs that he put in. So I'm going to clean up all in there and swipe some stuff on there so the water doesn't sit in there. But that's not bad at all. You know? I mean, there to there. Alrighty, let's move on to the next thing, which I'm not sure what we're gonna do next, but we'll figure something out. Alrighty guys, so what I'm doing here is I'm smoothing out the channel, more sanding. So I ground it down, and then you guys know that I already did the rust thing. So I put in a thin coat of fiberglass filler just to fill up any kind of pitting. We're not going to replace all the metal up here because it's solid, right? There's just a little bit of pitting. So I want to make sure that the windshield has a good smooth seal to to attach down. So all I'm doing is just grabbing my DA. I'll set you up here. Not too exciting, but here and then it's like perfect to run right through there. And that's really all it is. Right now we're in the sanding a lot stage. So I'm just sanding the car down is what I'm doing. So let me get sanding. I'll set you up somewhere just to watch me sand a little bit. I don't know. I know it's kind of this is kind of where we're at the build, right? So I did trim this well right here as well. He didn't grab that, but definitely has some damage there, so we could trim that down as well so the tire wouldn't grab. So right now I'm just gonna sand all this down with 180, and then I still have to do all the body work on that side. Yeah, this is the exciting part, right? So let me just get after this, and then I do take my block and I go through this way to get that all right as well. That's about it. Hopefully we can get this in primer. Maybe. At least the roof and the quarters, depends on how quickly the body work goes on that side. So let me get after it. Okay guys, so I'm doing the DA 180, and the clear is peeling off up top there and on the sides pretty bad, and the 180 just isn't quite cutting it. So I went to 80, still not quite cutting it. So for me it's kind of slow process, and I'm not that. So I broke out an old tool here. So this is the Eastwood. It's called the SCT. You can get these wheels at Harbor Freight, but this one is like this is a 120 grit wheel. So all I'm doing is I'm knocking down the top layer of clear off this. So I'm getting down to the, I guess you could say base or whatever, but I'm clearing out the old clear, whatever's flaking off, coming off. Then I'll come back over it with 180 with the DA. So let me start doing this. Just doing some body work on this quarter. So I'm just fixing the seam that was up there, the lead seam. So I dug it out, fiber all, and now I'm just smoothing it all out. So yeah, I keep saying this is like the long tedious stuff, is trying to get this all smooth again and straight. I'll be honest, I'll take one of my patina builds over doing all this stuff. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I do this kind of stuff at work, like, yeah, so I'm gonna keep on going. I'll set you up, record a little bit as I go and I move along. So yeah, stay tuned. I took a break, decided to have some lunch. It's like 4 o'clock. So yeah, so I just got like pretty much that area right there to sand out that curb. There was a couple dents down here, and then there was one dent right there. Yeah, so here we go. Well, it's 6 o'clock Saturday evening. I'm done sanding for the evening. Catch you in the morning. Till then.
Good morning, guys. So we stopped yesterday with sanding, getting all the body work done on this side. I was like, oh yeah, you know, I can sand this down with 180, tape it off real quick and prime it. But we have to prime all down here too, right? So what I'm finding as I'm going along is when it was painted 20 some years ago, they didn't really prep this area, right? So the paint that they put on is like flaking off in some spots and not sticking in spots and sticking in some spots. So I gotta have to strip all that down. So today is going to be more sanding and more stripping of stuff. I do not think we're gonna get this in primer today. I'm not gonna rush it because you know, when you rush things, crap happens, and that usually happens after it's painted and a week or two down the road, and then you get a call, hey, something's going on here, and then you're like, oh, what's that? And then all of a sudden, instantly in your head, you remember exactly what you rushed, and then that's why it's a problem, and then you have to fix it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So today I'm going to be stripping this whole headlight section or taillight sections out. I'll show you, let me spin this around, and I'll show you what we got going on that's not fun. So this is what I'm talking about. See all that? So it's like it wants to stick, but it's not sticking. So that all has to be stripped out. Yep. Yeah. I'm not too happy about that, I'll be honest with you. This I'm gonna strip down. I'm gonna strip all that out. I pulled off the bubbling that was all here, and I've got all this going on here like that. The doors I wasn't worried about getting in primer today. It was really just getting, you know, the roof in primer, the quarters all the way back, and the windshield area and the cowl area. So and then I could just scuff up, well, not scuff up, but sand up with some 180. It wouldn't have been a problem. But the biggest problem that I've got is all the flaking and sticking, non-sticking base and clear back here. Yep, and then we have this little situation going on here that decided to start peeling out. And I'm glad it did now because it is rusty underneath there. So I got to clean all that out as well. But this is what kind of happens with builds, right? You're like, oh yeah, and then it's like, oh no. Yeah. So anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We are going to be sanding, we're going to be stripping, we're going to do a lot of exciting things like that. So let's kind of set things up, get the air compressor running, and just go to town on this. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. Actually, hold on. There we go. I'm not going to do a lot of talking on this one today. We're just going to get after it. I will maybe move the camera around, especially when I start stripping stuff or whatever. But you'll get the feel of what I'm doing. I've already went over the clean and strip wheels that I'm using and stuff like that. And yeah, so let's really just hit this hard and see if we can get all this stuff taken care of. And yeah, maybe next weekend we'll primer. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But let's just do what we can do. Get done today. There's a few things yard work wise I need to take care of. The honey-do list. You know, everyone's got one. I got one. So there's a lot of things. Not a lot of things, but things I want to take care of anyway. So without further ado, let's hit it.
So I'm going to show you this neat little thing. Okay, this is probably the last tool I'm going to break out. That's cool. So this is like a 2-inch, I think 2-inch or 3-inch, yeah, I'm going to say 3-inch little grinder guy. So it's Onyx. That's number 320. So they take these little discs, right? They're Velcro on the back, but these things can get expensive, buying those little guys. So what you can do is you can take like an old piece of 80 grit that's Velcro, like that, and then you can just cut around it and make your own little discs, right? Yeah, I'll show you. So you just put it on there. Like that, and then you just go to town. So all that roof, quarters, that front piece, that rear taillight piece, that took me 4 hours. 4 hours to sand 180, stripping that down with my little mini grinder, and then coming all back over it all with 180 on a DA. 4 hours. That's why I say it takes a little bit to do it, but that's all ready for epoxy primer. so that's good. I have to put on that back taillight panel there, the seam sealer was falling out and there was a bunch of rust underneath there, so I wire wheeled it. You saw in that quick walk around video the black, that's the rust stop or rust trap, that stuff. I never told you, but you can get this off Amazon. It's 51 bucks a quart. It goes quite a long ways, so it's a great deal. Better than $4.15, I feel. But anyway, you can use whatever you want. This is just all the stuff that I'm using. So I gotta let that back rust trap stuff set up so I can run seam sealer along there. I do have seam sealer. It's a urethane seam sealer. I'm just gonna put that back on there. I'm not gonna use panel bond across that. At least I don't think I'm going to, but you know, who knows what I feel when the time comes to do it. So I'm just gonna take a little break. It is 1:30. I just blew everything off. I blew the shop out, the back door here. So I'm just gonna take a break for a minute, go put gas in the truck, things I gotta take care of, and then I'll be back. We will see what we get into for the rest of today, but it's definitely not priming. Oh no. So yeah, we'll be back. So I went ahead and seam sealed it with panel bond. Alrighty guys, that's gonna wrap up this fun-filled weekend of sanding. A little bit of metal repair, but really just a lot of sanding. I think we are, I'm hoping next weekend, as long as it's a good weekend, we will do the epoxy primer. No doors, the fenders and hood, we'll get that later, but right now it'll be just the cowl, roof, quarters, and the rear tail light section. Yep. So anyway, I appreciate you guys sticking it through here with this sanding video. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming back. I'm starting to get a little bit more views and subscribers, which is awesome. I love that. More comments coming at my way, which I enjoy as well, to be able to comment back on whatever is particulars or whatever. So hit like, share, subscribe, the little bell notification there to let you tell you when I'm gonna upload more cool videos. And remember, go out and build something cool. Catch you on the next one. Bye.